And hi, welcome back. This week we're driving the Suzuki, the 2009 SX4. Now this is the sedan. Many times people think, SX4, that must be all-wheel drive. But nay, this is the two-wheel drive version. Oh yeah, normally I get to spend a whole week with a car. This time, however, I kind of had a little bit of a boo-boo. I bumped the car against a little bit of a curb. It wasn't my fault, I was just driving, it was fine. It kind of blew the tire. So we had the tire replaced, and that tire that was replaced had a leaky valve stem. So I've driven this car for about 30 minutes, so I'm not as well versed as I might normally be on a car for review. So because I've only had this car for essentially 30 minutes at this point, I was able to get a quick camera roll this afternoon so you can hear the car and you can see the car, and then we'll talk about the car when we come back from the clip. Similar to the Honda Fit Sport we tested just a couple weeks ago, the new Suzuki SX4 Sport Sedan simply adds more size and features for the same dollar. It's longer and wider than the Honda, though usable interior is very similar. It also has more features. Ours came with a navigation unit and 6-CD changer and was still $1,000 less than the Honda. Yes, it's basically a TomTom mounted into a flip-up slot. But that's okay, it's a cool unit. The more mentality continues under the hood. The 143 horsepower 2-liter inline-4 produces a throaty, more burly note than the high-winding, but admittedly more fun-to-drive Honda. Let's listen to it. And already, we're doing 70. Fit and finish were very similar, but I have to say I prefer the lines of the Honda. They seem fresher than the mundane and pedestrian Suzuki. It has enough power for this class, especially for the price. I mean, we're looking at what, like 16 grand for this thing?
Do you think this is going to be a dependable car?
Yeah, I think it'd be probably pretty dependable. I mean, okay, look at what Suzukis are currently on the road. You have Geo Metros, which were made by Suzuki. It was a Suzuki Swift in Japan. And then you also have the, what are those jacked up things?
The Suzuki Somersault.
The Somersault, yeah, the Samurai. You've seen what people do to Samurais, right? They take them, over the years, they seem to get jacked higher and higher, and they take them off-road, and they basically drive them until they run into a tree. That is the life of a Samurai. I think this vehicle, especially in the all-wheel drive trim, which is an option, that probably will have the very same fate. This car right here will probably be jacked up and will probably eventually be wrapped around a tree by some poor sap in 20 years from now.
It's not very sexy, is it?
No, I don't think it is very sexy personally. I don't know, do we have any ladies that are watching the live broadcast? What do you think? Do you think this is a sexy car? Would you date a guy who rolled up in an SX4? In the meanwhile, we're going to take a look under the hood. Fine, so here's the motor. Now,
this is going to be around in 20 years?
It'll be fine, What the hell? Let's see. Okay, so that goes, it's just, okay, there we go. I got it. Okay, so there's the motor. Now, the one thing that I really like about this that you just don't see on a lot of cars today is look at this. What do you see?
A lot of fluid containers.
Yes! It's great! Look! Brake fluid. It's right. See, everything is right there. You could work on this car in your driveway and not have to take it all the way apart. I was driving a BMW a couple years ago. It was what car was that? It was like a 328i or something like that. Turned a little too hard, and the car just shut down. Okay, so we're like, well, geez, what happened? It's saying that there's no oil in the car. It gave us a big oil light, blah, 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 blah. And we're like, okay, well, let's check the oil. 10 minutes later, after we're looking in the motor, we can't find the oil rod thing. So what do? We get the manual out. Can't find anything in the manual. We call service. Service says, you have to hit this button, hit this button, hit this button, twist this knob, and then wait 10 minutes, and it'll tell you how much oil is in the car. Well, look, let's see. We have a winner. We can check the oil. Have the ladies responded as to whether or not they would date a guy who rolled up in an SX4?
They think you're sexy. I can say definitively no ladies have had to comment about the car.
No ladies have commented
And I
about
think
the car.
the lack of comments says a lot. Anyway, so we're going to be right back with Paul from AVO Turbo World. And this is a reminder, we are on Twitter. You want to subscribe to us on Twitter. You go twitter.com/driving sports. Click follow, and you'll get all of our updates. You'll hear about what's coming up in the new shows, who's going to be on, what we're doing, and all that fun stuff. So anyway, we'll be right back after this.